Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? What's happening? Marcus here. Just going live on Instagram too. We're on Facebook. Of course, this is going to be on YouTube as well. So wherever you're tuning in, thank you very, very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Appreciate the views, the comments, the fans, all very appreciative about that. Today, I'm going to talk about the number one marketing mistake that I see businesses make and an easy way to fix that. Very easy way to fix that. So marketing, folks, marketing is a long-term game. It is a long-term strategy. You should never really be executing marketing that is short-term for short-term gains. Short-term gains are fantastic, but the reality is that you need to be getting repeat business. All right. So some of you have products that you might not think you have repeat business, but you actually do. You can offer a service to somebody. You can, like if you're a roofer or something, or somebody who installs pools, you should be able to have some kind of either referral business to people who can either keep some kind of maintenance or something, or products or this or that. But if you've noticed, folks, like I have the same exact, well, you wouldn't notice because you don't know, but I have the same exact razor, this Gillette sensor that I got in the early 90s. The razor was basically free. The refills cost money, all right? So at some point, Gillette had to realize, are we in the shaving business or are we in the cartridge business, all right? So for them, they're in the cartridge business. They gave me this, basically this free product. It was a great deal. And I've been buying cartridges ever since 1992, really, 1991, something like that, some insane amount. I've had this razor for that long. That's how insane this is. So think of folks, that right there was long-term strategy. That was massive long-term strategy. I'll be going on 30 years and like to another year with that razor, all right? So imagine if you can put a product, put a service out there that is going to continue that kind of repeat business. Well, not all of us have the luxury of having a product that will do that, but here's the strategy you have to do. You have to use strategy that you constantly communicate and build a list. So I'm in the restaurant industry, restaurant business. So for me, it's about grabbing people's information, their birthdays, their addresses, their phone numbers if they'll give it to me, their birthdays, as I said, their email addresses, so I can retarget them along the way. Retargeting is super important. So I saw a post yesterday on Facebook, and the post was, I see these a lot. So there's a really common post that some restaurateurs will put up, and it's a picture of like 6 different pieces of bacon, and all the bacon is cooked to a different degree. And it basically has almost something that's raw, just cooked, to something that's crispy. And the post will say, comment how you like your bacon cooked, right? People start commenting on there. Before you know it, a restaurant will have 200 to 300 comments on something like that. Literally 200 to 300 people that are engaging in that post. People that are right there in your face, in your content, taking the time to type something in. So that right there, if you drop it and don't go after those people again, that is a short-term strategy. That's just awareness. Awareness short-term. They might come in once, whatever. That's short-term. The way to make that a long-term strategy is to attach a Facebook Messenger bot, or to be able to follow up with every single person that comments. If you had 300 people that commented, even 50 people that commented, or 500, if you had a way to follow up with every single person and send them a certificate, a voucher for a free order of bacon, you'd be hitting home runs, grand slams again and again and again, because you're now long-term. So in this part of the long-term transition, you need to get their email, their birthdays, things like that. So now you can continue to market to them. I mean, this goes back to the whole thing of the fishing in a new pond every single time. You don't want to fish a new pond every single time when you market. Here's a post you're posting that literally got 300 comments. That's like casting a line into the water and getting a nibble. Would you walk away from that nibble now and try to go fishing somewhere else? No, because you know there's something in there that's at least nibbling. at least nibbling a little bit. So um, you're going to want to now throw something back and get hopefully a bite. So this Facebook post stuff, when you post engaging stuff, you want a way for you to throw back and say, okay, now come on closer, come in my door, and let's spend some money. So again, Facebook, folks, posting something on Facebook that's getting comments, that's short term. Posting something on Facebook that gets comments, then sends it to a messenger bot, grabs their email, and sends them a voucher or a coupon or a discount for their next visit. That's long term. You want to be in the long term marketing game. Again, long term marketing is what wins. I told a quick story when I first started this video about Gillette razors. I bought that Gillette razor back in 1991 that was basically free, and they've been selling me cartridges ever since. They knew that by giving me a free razor, that was a long-term gain because I need to buy cartridges for it over and over and over and over. You have to think of your marketing. Think of your marketing like, what are my long-term gains? What do I have to do to get that guest, that person's comment, that person's nibbling on my hook to actually become long-term? Folks, you need to build a database. Database is so important. Database is massively important. When you go to sell your restaurant, and you're going to sell it, and they're like, well, why do you want $500,000 or $2 million? And you go, well, here, I have a list, folks. I have a list here, a stack of 20,000 guests that have done business with me. That means something, all right? That means a lot to the person who's buying it. If the person doesn't care who's buying your restaurant, then you keep that list for yourself, because you might be going into business in 5 years once your clause is over, or whatever kind of clause you get or don't get, non-compete clause. You're going to have this whole list, and that's gold, folks. The number one asset in your business right now is your database. Your database. They're the ones who know who you are, the ones who have given you money. Folks, that's the real gold in your business, your database. The more you can build your database, the more long-term you're working. That's long-term marketing strategies, building a database. So that's the name of the game. So next time you think of posting something on Facebook that you think is going to go viral, like I just saw a post yesterday. Somebody posted, there's a picture of Santa or a tree or something, and it basically said, drop a comment to something that begins with the first name, the letter of your first name of something that's Christmas related. So for me, example, my name is Marcus. It was something Christmas related that I would drop. That was the first initial of my name, M. I have to think of something and drop a comment that begins with an M that's Christmas related. All right. So that right there, I saw this restaurant. I saw this restaurant literally get like 300 comments. Like with the first hour, they had over 100 comments. It was really cool. But that's short term. That's all short term marketing. Long term marketing is your database. Long-term marketing is your database. Now, I'll tell a quick story about one of my most successful launches in the database world. And by the way, thanks again for tuning in, folks. If you're on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook, we're broadcasting all over. So thank you very much. Talking about marketing, long-term versus short-term strategies. I see most restaurants, most businesses do short-term gains. Folks, the money's in your list. The money's in your database. Some of you know that we do trips to Europe. We started a company called VIP Winery Vacations, and we've been doing it for our 4th year now. There's 10,000 or so people in our database, and you need to treat your database, folks, like you're treating Facebook. Every action, when somebody opens your emails, every time somebody opens an email, clicks a link, forwards an email, doesn't open an email, doesn't respond, you have to disengage them and move them into a different pile and send them stronger messages. Because again, there's 3 types of guests, folks. Sidewalk, and I've talked about this in a lot of videos. Sidewalk, slow lane, fast lane. It's a matter of making people move over lanes. So if you start tracking the movement of these people in your database on your emails, you need a program that's going to work just like Facebook, that every time they go in there and do something with an email, it's tracking them. And you have people that are engaging, and then you target those certain people that are engaging. So for example, I know we sent an email out the day that we got a new steak in. I didn't send that to anybody that had ever engaged in a vegan comment, vegetarian comment on our list, because I knew that's what they're interested in. But if you engaged in a burger link, a steak, anything like that, filled out a survey that said you were somehow interested in in meat dishes, in beef, you got that email. And then email went to a much smaller list with an exorbitant open rate because I'm sending a topic that's very, very specific to what they like. So, but then if somebody's not opening your emails, they get into a separate bucket because now we go 60 days. We go 60 days. And these are more long-term strategies. I'm talking about short-term in the beginning, moving them into long-term strategies. So now 60 days are disengaged. We now put them in a separate bucket. They'll go there automatically. Our CRM does that automatically. Customer relations program does it automatically. And then from there, I have to say, okay, I have this list here that haven't opened an email from me in 60 days. How do I get my message to them stronger? They're now a slow lane customer or sidewalk. How do I move them up in the lanes? And so we send them stronger messages, better offers, maybe some kind of better headline to try to, and once as soon as they engage again, they get taken out of there automatically through the CRM, and they get put back into the regular list of people that are highly active. And then our CRM rates everybody to where they're at and what they're doing in our email program. So from there, we sold these lists, these trips to Italy. Our last one we did, we sent out to 9,000 people. From there, 1,600 people actually click the link, the first link. If you click the link the second time, you're engaged with another link, another tag. So we went from basically 1,600 people to 600 people to 80 people to selling the trip, all 24 people within 7 days of launching it. Something small, something ridiculous like that. Within 7 days, literally, because every time they specifically made an action in an email that they showed me they were more interested in the trip or more interested in whatever product we were selling, we then went in with another follow-up and another follow-up and another follow-up. So we went from 10,000, just rough numbers, 10,000, 1,600, 600, 80, 24 paid people spending $4,500 a person. So that right there is your formula for long-term. So now I went last night and did wasn't even presenting. I just went and helped a friend pour wine, who's our tour guide from Italy, who's in the US, doing his wine tours. I went and helped him pour at an event at another restaurant that wasn't even, I've never even been to the other restaurant. It was 45 minutes from us. I just went there and Luigi and I hung out and I got to talk about the trips. And Luigi's coming here tonight at the restaurant. If you're watching live, Luigi's coming, our tour guide. We have an amazing tour guide in Italy who I've been personal friends with for over a decade, who helps us execute all of our tours. Somalia of 25 years too. So I went up and pour wine last night. I knew last night I wasn't going to sell a single thing in that room. I was not there for that short-term gain, because if I was there for the short-term gain, I would have been very aggressive and like tried to. All I wanted to do last night was bring awareness and get people into the database who then are interested in their trip. If you're interested in a trip to Italy, folks, here's what you do: sign up to the link, scan this code, drop here, get into the email. That's all that last night was about, was just raising awareness. But it was more than that one night. It was about long-term, about getting them into the list, moving them to the restaurant list, getting them more familiar with who I am all around and all the products that we sell at the restaurant, and stuff like that. So folks, marketing is long-term. When you post something on Facebook, and again, when you post something that you think is going to get a lot of comments, which a lot of posts do, they'll get 100, 200, 300 comments, that needs to be attached to a messenger bot. You need to attach it so their email sync, an opt-in happens, a small offer goes out, and their email gets automatically synced, it gets zapped, or Google sheeted right into your CRM. So imagine making a post on Facebook, and instead of getting 300 comments, you're getting 300 comments and 300 people that are actually going into your database. That right there, folks, is long-term gains. Long-term gains is what marketing is about. People are biting, give them more bait. When you get a bite in the water when you're fishing, you don't abort the project. You throw something back in and more bait so you get more bites and catch something. That's how you do marketing, folks. All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate it. And again, thanks for wherever you were tuning in at on all the channels we're on live right now or the replay. I appreciate it. And we'll talk to you later. Long-term marketing always wins. Long-term versus short-term.